Kindness is one of the most powerful forces in the world. It can open doors, build relationships, and create opportunities that nothing else can. When you treat people with kindness, you radiate positivity, and that energy comes back to you in ways you can't even imagine. But kindness, when given without boundaries, can also be a silent destroyer. It can drain your energy, leave you feeling appreciated, and make you question your worth. The problem arises when kindness turns into overgiving, when it shifts from being a strength to being a compulsion. Some people mistake kindness for weakness and take advantage of it. They see it as an invitation to demand more, to push your limits, to take without giving back. The more you allow it, the more it happens, and suddenly you're not being kind anymore, you're being used. Many people fall into this trap because they believe that kindness means always saying yes. They think that by constantly giving, they'll earn love, respect, and appreciation. But the truth is, people don't value what they don't have to work for. When you give endlessly without expecting anything in return, you teach others to expect your generosity without gratitude. You become someone they turn to when they need something, but not someone they truly appreciate. Kindness should be a conscious choice, not a default setting. It should come from a place of strength, not fear. Fear of rejection, fear of disappointing others, fear of being seen as selfish. These are the reasons people keep giving even when it's hurting them. But real strength is knowing when to be kind and when to step back. It's about understanding that your time, energy, and emotions are valuable and should be protected. If kindness is causing you stress, exhaustion, or resentment, it's a sign that it's no longer serving you, it's controlling you. The strongest people in the world are kind, but they are also firm. They know that being good-hearted doesn't mean being a pushover. They give, but they also receive. They help, but they also demand respect. They love, but they also walk away when necessary. The balance between kindness and self-respect is where true power lies. When you value yourself, you stop over-explaining, over-apologizing, and overcompensating. You stop feeling guilty for saying no. You stop allowing people to make you feel bad for putting yourself first. Because at the end of the day, if you keep giving everything away, there will be nothing left of you to give. Kindness should uplift you, not exhaust you. It should bring you peace, not leave you drained. It should strengthen your relationships, not turn them into one-sided arrangements. If it's doing the opposite, it's time to reassess who you're being kind to and why. Your kindness is a gift. Not everyone deserves it. People will take as much as you allow them to. That's human nature. Some do it without realizing, while others do it intentionally. If you are always available, always saying yes, always putting others before yourself, there will be people who see that as an opportunity to get what they want without giving anything in return. The more you let it happen, the more it becomes the norm. Boundaries are not about being mean or selfish. They are about self-respect. Without them, you become an emotional dumping ground for other people's problems, expectations, and demands. You start to notice that people only call you when they need something. They come to you for support, for advice, for favors, but when you need them, they're nowhere to be found. The cycle continues because you've never drawn the line. Being kind-hearted does not mean you have to tolerate being taken for granted. If you don't set limits, people will assume there are none. You might think that always being there for others will make them appreciate you more. But in reality, it often does the opposite. People respect those who respect themselves. If you let them walk all over you, they won't suddenly stop out of guilt. They will keep taking because you've taught them that it's okay. It's easy to blame others for taking advantage, but the truth is it starts with you. The moment you say yes when you really want to say no, the moment you allow someone to treat you in a way that makes you feel small, you send the message that your needs don't matter. And once people see that, they adjust their expectations accordingly. They assume you'll always be there, always available, always willing, no matter how it affects you. You can give and still have boundaries. You can care and still say no. You can be kind and still demand respect. Setting boundaries doesn't push the right people away. It filters out the wrong ones. The ones who truly value you will understand and respect your limits. The ones who get upset or try to manipulate you into changing them were never there for you in the first place. They were there for what they could get from you. The fear of losing people often keeps you from standing your ground. But what are you really losing? People who don't respect your time. People who only show up when it benefits them. That's not a loss. That's a gain. Because when you clear out those who take advantage, you make room for those who genuinely care. You create space for relationships built on mutual respect instead of one-sided expectations. Every time you set a boundary, you reinforce your worth. You remind yourself that you are not here to be drained, used, or manipulated. You are here to live, to thrive, to give where it is valued, not where it is expected. Boundaries are not walls. They are filters that protect your energy, your peace, and your happiness. If you don't set them, people will keep taking, and you will keep giving until there's nothing left of you. Your energy is one of the most valuable resources you have. It fuels your dreams, your goals, your relationships, and your daily life. But too often, people waste it on those who don't appreciate it, who drain them, who only take without giving anything back. Not everyone deserves access to your time, your thoughts, or your emotional investment. If you give it away too freely, you'll find yourself exhausted, frustrated, and wondering why you feel so empty. Some people bring negativity into your life without you even realizing it. They complain constantly, criticize everything, and never seem to have anything positive to offer. You might feel obligated to be there for them, to listen, to offer advice, to try and lift them up. But the truth is, some people don't want to be lifted. They thrive in their negativity. And the more energy you give them, the more they pull you down with them. Then there are the ones who only reach out when they need something. They don't check on you, they don't support you, but the moment they need a favor, they know exactly where to find you. They expect you to drop everything for them, but when you need them, they're suddenly too busy or unavailable. These people don't value, they value what you can do for them. And every time you give in, you reinforce the idea that your energy is theirs to take whenever they want. True relationships are built on mutual support and respect. The people who truly deserve your energy are the ones who uplift you, encourage you, who celebrate your wins and stand by you in tough times. They don't just take, they give. They don't just talk, they listen. They don't just expect, they appreciate. These are the people who leave you feeling inspired instead of drained, strong instead of exhausted. Letting go of those who don't deserve your energy isn't cruel, it's necessary. It doesn't mean you hate them. It doesn't mean you wish them harm. It simply means you're choosing to protect your peace. You are choosing to invest your energy where it will grow, not where it will be wasted. There is nothing selfish about that. In fact, it's one of the most powerful acts of self-care you can practice. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with people. Do you feel lighter, motivated, and happy? Or do you feel exhausted, frustrated, and unappreciated? Your emotions are a guide, and they will tell you who truly belongs in your life. The people who respect and uplift you will never make you feel like you have to prove your worth. They will remind you of it even when you forget. Energy is contagious, and the more you surround yourself with those who uplift you, the stronger you become. Your mindset shifts, your confidence grows, and your ability to reach your goals increases. You stop feeling weighed down by other people's problems and start feeling inspired by the people around you. This is the kind of energy exchange that fuels real success, happiness, and fulfillment. You don't owe your energy to everyone who asks for it. You owe it to yourself to use it wisely. Saying no is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. It's not just a word, it's a statement of self-respect, a declaration that your time and energy matter. Too many people struggle with saying no because they fear disappointing others, being seen as selfish, or creating conflict. But every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you are saying no to something that does. You are sacrificing your own needs, goals, and peace for the sake of someone else's expectations. The world is full of demands, people asking for favors, invitations to events you don't want to attend, commitments that drain you instead of fulfilling you. If you always say yes, you will quickly find yourself overwhelmed, stretched thin, and exhausted. The weight of other people's expectations will bury your own desires, and before you know it, your time is no longer yours. The problem isn't that people ask, it's that you feel obligated to say yes, even when you don't want to. Saying no is not about being rude or uncaring. It's about setting priorities. If you don't make your own life a priority, no one else will. People will continue to ask, continue to take, continue to expect more until you decide to set a boundary. The moment you start saying no, you regain control. You stop living on other people's terms and start living on your own. Every yes you give away too easily is a no to something important. It's a no to rest, a no to your passions, a no to time with your tour. ones and no to your dreams. You only have so much energy in a day, and if you spend it all on things that don't align with your goals, you will have nothing left for the things that do. It's easy to think that one small yes won't make a difference, but over time they add up. Each unnecessary yes chips away at your freedom. Guilt is one of the biggest reasons people struggle with saying no. You worry about hurting feelings, about letting people down. But ask yourself, are they worrying about how their request affects you? The people who truly respect you will understand. The ones who don't understand were never really considering your well-being in the first place. A simple no, delivered with kindness but firmness, is enough. You don't owe explanations, justifications, or apologies. The more you practice saying no, the easier it becomes. At first, it might feel uncomfortable, even unnatural, but over time, you will notice a shift. You will feel lighter, more in control, more focused on what truly matters. You will stop feeling resentful for commitments you never wanted in the first place. You will gain the respect of those around you because people respect those who value themselves. Saying no creates space for things that energize you, inspire you, and bring you joy. It allows you to focus on what truly matters rather than filling your life with obligations that drain you. The most successful and fulfilled people are not the ones who say yes to everything. They are the ones who protect their time and energy fiercely, saying no to anything that does not align with their purpose. Your time is precious, your energy is limited, and your dreams are important. If you don't learn to say no, you will spend your life building other people's visions while neglecting your own. No matter how hard you try, you will never make everyone happy. People have different expectations, different desires, and different opinions about who you should be and what you should do. If you spend your life trying to satisfy everyone, you will end up losing yourself in the process. The harder you try to meet everyone's expectations, the more you realize that it's impossible because people will always want more. Pleasing others often comes at the expense of your own well-being. You say yes when you want to say no. You bite your tongue when you should speak up. You go along with things that don't align with your values just to avoid conflict. Over time, this takes a toll. You start feeling exhausted, frustrated, and unfulfilled because you are living for others instead of for yourself. People-pleasing is a never-ending cycle. The more you do for others, the more they expect. The moment you say no or set a boundary, those who only valued you for what you could do for them will push back. Some will make you feel guilty. Some will try to manipulate you, and some will even walk away. But that's not a bad thing. It's a sign that they were only there for what you could offer, not for who you truly are. One of the biggest fears people pleasers have is rejection. They believe that if they stop bending over backward for others, they will lose relationships, lose opportunities, or be seen as selfish. But the truth is, real connections are not built on how much you sacrifice for others. They are built on mutual respect, understanding, and authenticity. If someone only values you because of what you do for them, then they never truly valued you at all. The most powerful thing you can do is accept that not everyone will like you. Not everyone will agree with you. And not everyone will understand your choices. That's okay. You don't exist to be everything for everyone. The more you embrace this truth, the more freedom you will feel. You will no longer waste energy trying to win approval from people who will never be satisfied. Instead, you will focus on what makes you happy, what fulfills you, and what aligns with your own values. When you stop trying to please everyone, you start attracting the right people into your life, the ones who appreciate you for who you are, not for what you can do for them. You will find relationships that feel easy instead of exhausting, connections that are based on mutual support rather than one-sided expectations. These are the people who uplift you, who respect your boundaries, and who encourage you to be your authentic self. Letting go of the need to please everyone doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you start caring about yourself just as much as you care about others. It means prioritizing your own happiness instead of constantly putting it aside for the sake of keeping others comfortable. It means recognizing that your worth is not determined by how much you do for other people, but by who you are at your core. You have one life. You can either spend it exhausting yourself trying to keep everyone happy, or you can choose to live it on your own terms, surrounded by people who accept and respect you as you are. Respect is not something you can buy with kindness or overgiving. It is not earned by saying yes to everything, by always being available, or by sacrificing your own needs for the sake of others. People respect those who know their worth, who stand their ground, and who refuse to be treated as less than they deserve. If you think giving endlessly will make people value you more, you will only find yourself feeling used and unappreciated. Overgiving often comes from a place of wanting approval. You think that if you keep showing up, keep helping, keep putting others before yourself, they will see your value and treat you accordingly. But the opposite usually happens. The more you give without boundaries, the more people assume it's your role to do so. They start expecting it. And when something is expected, is no longer appreciated, is taken for granted. People respect strength, not servitude. They respect those who have clear standards, who demand fair treatment, who are not afraid to say no. Strength doesn't mean being aggressive, rude, or unkind. It means knowing where you stand and refusing to compromise your self-worth to please others. It means understanding that you are not responsible for making everyone else's life easier at the cost of your own. The most respected people are not the ones who bend over backwards to accommodate everyone. They are the ones who set boundaries and uphold them. They are the ones who are willing to walk away from relationships, jobs, or situations that do not align with their values. They are the ones who give, but only to those who appreciate it. They help, but not at the expense of their own well-being. If you want to be respected, start by respecting yourself. Pay attention to how you allow others to treat you. Do you let people talk over you? Do you say yes when you want to say no? Do you tolerate behavior that makes you uncomfortable just to keep the peace? Every time you compromise yourself to keep someone else happy, you teach them that your needs don't matter. And people will treat you according to the standards you set for yourself. Respect comes from consistency. It's not about making one bold decision or standing up for yourself once. It's about how you carry yourself every single day. It's in the way you communicate, the way you enforce your boundaries, the way you choose who to surround yourself with. The more you practice self-respect, the more others will mirror that respect back to you. Some people will be uncomfortable when you start setting limits. They may call you selfish, difficult, or even cold. That's because they benefited from your lack of boundaries. But the right people, the ones who truly value you, will understand and respect your strength. They will admire your confidence, not resent it. They will see that your kindness is not a weakness, but a choice, and they will honor it instead of exploiting it. Respect is not given to those who try to please everyone. It is given to those who know who they are, who refuse to shrink themselves for others, and who understand that true strength that tree over giving, but in standing firm in their worth. Your dreams are just as important as anyone else's, yet too often, people push them aside to make room for the needs, expectations, and demands of others. They say yes to every favor, every request, every obligation, thinking they are being kind and supportive. But in the process, they slowly bury their own ambitions, trading their time and energy for the approval of people who wouldn't make the same sacrifices for them. There is a difference between being generous and being self-sacrificing. Generosity comes from abundance. You give because you want to, because it aligns with your values, because it brings you joy. Self-sacrifice, on the other hand, comes from a place of obligation and guilt. It drains you. It leaves you exhausted. It makes you feel like your dreams have to wait because everyone else's needs come first. But if you keep waiting for the right time to focus on yourself, you will wake up one day and realize that time has passed you by. The people who truly care about you will never ask you to give up your goals for their benefit. They will support you, encourage you, and respect the time you need to build the life you want. But those who only see you as someone to lean on will always expect you to put them first. They will take your time, your energy, and your focus. And when you finally start prioritizing yourself, they will make you feel guilty for it. Look at your relationships and commitments. Are they helping you grow, or are they holding you back? Are you surrounded by people who push you toward your goals? Are you constantly dealing with those who demand your attention but offer nothing in return? Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you are saying no to your own progress. And the longer you do this, the harder it becomes to reclaim your time. Your dreams require your full commitment. They need your time, your focus, your dedication. You cannot give your best effort to your goals if you are constantly distracted by people who drain you. Success doesn't come from saying yes to everyone. It comes from learning to say no, from protecting your time, from understanding that your purpose is just as important as anyone else's. It's not selfish to put yourself first. It's not selfish to guard your time, to set boundaries, to step away from relationships that take more than they give. The people who truly value you will understand. The ones who don't will try to make you feel guilty, but that guilt is not yours to carry. You are not here to serve everyone else at the cost of your own happiness. You are here to build something meaningful, to create a life that excites and fulfills you. The world doesn't reward those who give endlessly to others while neglecting themselves. It rewards those who have the courage to chase their dreams, to stand firm in their worth, to say, I matter too. If you don't start prioritizing yourself, no one else will. The time you spend sacrificing for others is time you will never get back. And no one is going to give you permission to put yourself first. You have to take it. Your dreams matter just as much as anyone else's. Stop waiting for the right time. Stop putting yourself last, and stop giving your energy to people who wouldn't do the same for you. Choosing yourself first is not selfish, it is necessary. Too many people believe that prioritizing their well-being means neglecting others, but the truth is, you cannot pour from an empty cup. When you constantly give without taking care of yourself, you eventually burn out. And when that happens, you are no good to yourself or anyone else. True generosity, true impact comes from a place of strength, not exhaustion. When you put yourself first, you operate from a position of power. You make decisions that align with your goals, your happiness, and your health. You stop saying yes out of guilt and start saying yes to things that truly matter. You begin to value your time, your energy, and your mental space. And when you do that, you start to see how much of your life was being wasted on things that didn't serve you. People who truly care about you will support your decision to prioritize yourself. They will understand that your well-being is essential, not just for you, but for your ability to be present, to contribute, to love, and to give in a way that is sustainable. The ones who push back, who call you selfish, who try to guilt you into continuing to serve them at your expense, those are the ones who are benefiting from your lack of boundaries. Choosing yourself first does not mean ignoring others. It means setting limits on how much of yourself you give away. It means recognizing that your needs matter just as much as everyone else's. It means understanding that when you are rested, when you are healthy, when you are emotionally strong, you are far more capable of helping those around you in a meaningful way. There will always be people who demand more of you, who expect you to be available at all times, who get used to the idea that you will always be the one to step in. But you have to ask yourself, at what cost? What do you lose every time you say yes to something that drains you? What dreams are you putting on hold? What parts of yourself are you sacrificing just to keep others comfortable? The moment you start choosing yourself, everything changes. You gain clarity. You regain your sense of purpose. You start attracting the right people, those who respect your time, your energy, and your boundaries. You begin to operate with confidence, knowing that taking care of yourself is not a luxury, but a necessity. And as you become stronger, happier, and more fulfilled, you will have more to give, not from a place of obligation, but from a place of true abundance. Your well-being is your responsibility, and no one else will protect it for you. Choose yourself first, not because others don't matter, but because you matter too.